I just wanted to do this one real short and brief. So I was just thinking about how the way I've communicated with people in the past, the way I've talked to other human beings, I've noticed during conversations that there's this pause, and there's this slow understanding, and as I speak, they kind of get under my words, and they're like, and I let that happen. It's like I retaliated from a stronger point in my personality that I could have kept up with, but I didn't have that kind of camaraderie with kids growing up and myself. I didn't have that friendship and that understanding. I think there were too many gaps of me being frustrated and too few moments where I felt like I was one with a group and I was together and we were laughing and understanding one another. And I think this created an alienation in my head that perpetuated and embellished, other thoughts that kind of kept me feeling separate. And it's interesting to say it because I don't feel separate from anybody. I don't feel separate from other human beings. I really do make every effort at least to understand that we're all in this together and that we should help one another. I guess there's a point where I'm so angry and frustrated with myself that I back down and I give over too much, and I'm too silly, and I'm too charming, and I'm too excited, and there's this point where it's like, I know that answer. I know the answer, and people see that and they're like, it's just like this. They perceive it as a form of weakness. I think some people, most people are going to be copacetic. They're going to be understanding, and they're just going to be like, oh, we like Matt. He's a good guy. But it's interesting how the anger in my desire to cover it up this need to cover it up has brought forth this other side, this part where I'm overcompensating in a sense. I'm really trying to be happy, and I understand you. I understand, much like a kid would do, like with wide eyes, and oh yeah, and then there's this. There's that component where it's like it's kind of. So if I just peel away that layer and bring it back, and I'm like, it's no big deal, I don't have to put a mask on and pretend that I need to make somebody like me. I can just be my normal, friendly self. But I was thinking that sometimes the ways I communicate, I'm like, I'm ready to get on with it. I'm ready to get on with the day. I'm ready to just move along, and I think that prevents me from communicating effectively sometimes. And I'm, there's this incredible self-absorption that prevents me from doing things that I should be doing anyway. And this is an interesting thing to be learning at this stage in life, because I do feel like, I know that there's people, I see them all around, where they can do things like clean their car, take out the garbage, and clean up after themselves, and do their art, and connect with other people, and they're not hitting obstacles where they're getting disgruntled and frustrated, and it's not pushing them down into themselves where they later have trouble talking with other people and making the best best of the situation. That's very specific, and I feel like that's it's accurate. So gotta shed some pounds here. Need to shed some pounds. I guess the key is that you gotta stay upbeat. You gotta stay happy. You gotta stay positive. You gotta try. You gotta make the effort, because if our minds tell us like a broken record that something's wrong, and we continuously play this, then we live in the notion that there's always something wrong. And when you believe that something is right, and then you believe more things are right, and then the day feels right, and everything feels right, you're much more likely to become inspired. And it just, everything seems lighter and funnier and more hysterical, and you're not debating the world, because that's what I do. In my frustration, I debate the world in my own head, and I don't want to do that anymore. Peace.